This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors. Hey guys, what is up and welcome to the channel. I am the Shotgun Shogun and this is TSS podcast number 10. Yeah, I think it's number 10. But we haven't done this in a while, and that's because I've been super busy and I've just been, playing too many gacha games. But I finally have on Justin from the Den of Nerds. We've been kind of talking about this for a while. Actually, there was one point where I was like, man, you actually don't live that far away from me. I should just come over and we'll do like a live podcast and I'll like make you a sandwich. But that never happened because because what was that? It was back in November, right?
Yeah, it was back in November, and you were saying like, "Hey, I got like some cons to go to and stuff like that, and then we'll do
Yes.
that." But then like we both just got super busy because like you did that, and then I like had to revamp everything on the channel, and then
Oh
work at
yeah.
my day job on
The
top of that. So
the
it'll happen
busy
eventually.
the busy lives of YouTube content creators, digital media content creators. But for those of you who do not know the Den of Nerds, go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
What's up, everyone? I'm Justin from the Den of Nerds Gaming. You may have seen my Fate videos. Probably not. I've like never seen my name mentioned on Reddit ever in the history of time.
That's not
But
always a
I
bad
do,
thing.
I do, I do Fate stuff. New Final Fantasy expansions coming out, and be diving hard into that. And we just do like a ton of gaming news on top of that. You can also check out my buddy Josh, who is way more successful and the head of the Den of Nerds on his main channel, which has like 90,000 subscribers right now, as he does like Marvel and Star Wars and DC Comics news. It's pretty great.
Nice. Yeah, no, I remember finding out about you through some people from the channel because a lot of times I'm really super busy and I mean, most of what I watch on YouTube is literally just meme music compilations as I'm working on other things. But some people came in one time and they were like, "Hey, have you heard of this guy?" And I'm like, "Nope, let me go check him out." And I remember I think the first video I think was your Who to Grail video. Might have been something other than that, but I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And you're like, oh, Fate Friday, and I personally love things that rhyme or flow really well together, so I'm like, huh, Fate Friday, that sounds really good. That sounds fantastic. Fate Fridays. So yeah,
Alliteration is so great. I
it
love
really is.
alliteration.
Yeah, that's why like whenever I do any of my sweepstakes, I'm always like, this is the Shotgun Shogun Super Summer Sweepstakes GSSR Nugget giveaway. You got to add as much alliteration in there as possible, so
Are
just
you sure that's not a
boom.
Super Saiyan form?
No, I haven't even reached my final form yet, so
Oh God.
so we're gonna go through the typical fate questions, as this is, a fate podcast. But what got you into fate? What was your first foray into fate?
So my first foray into Fate initially was back when I was a young, terrible 4chan lurking memester.
Oof.
I heard about it through the anime board, and someone was like, "Hey, there's this visual novel. It's been like translated. You should go check it out." So I went and checked it out. I like got through some of it, and then it crashed, and I just couldn't get it to work because I had like no computer knowledge. So that was my first foray into Fate. What really got me back into Fate and like start deep diving into all the crazy stuff on it was actually Fate Zero. I love Fate Zero. It is my favorite anime of all time. It is a pure classic Greek tragedy in anime form. I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah, and the
And
one thing for me is like people always ask, they're like, "Oh, hey, I want to get my friend into Fate. How do I get my friend into Fate?" And I'm like, just have them watch Fate Zero. Like if Fate Zero doesn't like hook them into the series, like you're good luck because Dean Stay Night isn't gonna do it. That's not
no,
gonna
no,
do
it
it at
is
all.
not.
Yeah,
I tell everyone to just stay away from Dean Stay Night. Unpopular opinion in some circles, but I don't think it's worth it. I think the Fate
yeah.
route just needs like a proper anime.
Well, I mean, like I feel like when you are very well vested into Fate and you have some extra time, the Dean route is okay, just to be semi completionist, just to be like, oh yeah, no, I've watched all of them. I have suffered through Dean. See, for me, when I first started, that's all I had. Like, I literally started on Dean Stay Night. I didn't even know that
Back
visual
in the
novels were a
day.
thing. And so like I probably watched like Dean Stay Night like probably 20 times. And I mean, yeah, it definitely hasn't aged well with time, but like Zero is probably also like my favorite one as well.
I tried to get a buddy into it before like I had like Zero readily available to watch, and I showed him the Dean Unlimited Blade Works. Needless to say, he did not become a fan. I tried though.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna show them unlimited blade works, you have to show them unlimited budget works. That's the other one that I tell people to get them hooked in there. It's like Fate Zero, unlimited budget works, and then literally anything else except Lost Encore. Lost Encore, uh, that one is. I mean, you know what though, I liked it because I mean I pretty much like anything Fate. I always find like the upside to everything. Like some people are like, man, I hated Apocrypha, and I'm like, man, I loved Astolfo. Like,
I
yeah.
did like Apocrypha. Funny thing related to both Extra and Apocrypha. I recently got my best friend into Fate, and he loved Zero. He loved the Limited Blade Works, and then he tried to watch Last Encore and Apocrypha. Last Encore, he just didn't care for and dropped it halfway through. Him and his girlfriend couldn't take it. But the funny thing with Apocrypha is he turned it on, and then the explosions in the first episode start happening, and he literally thought his entire speaker system broke. And he's like, I ran like diagnostics on my speaker system for like an hour and a half, and nothing was wrong with it. I went on the internet, and then I went onto r/anime, and they're like, no, the explosions just sound like that. They're just super low budget. So he will never watch Fate Apocrypha now because it took away an hour and a half of his life as he tried to fix his speakers.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, I was listening to it. I think I had my headphones on and I was kind of like, "Huh. All right. That's cool, I guess." You know, and then it's just like it kind of kept going. I'm like, "Oh, all right, whatever." But then again,
Will
I'm
this
also
ever
not a
stop?
huge audiophile, so like as long as I can hear it, I'm pretty okay with it. So, yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting too when you find people that are like, I hate this individual series, to like understand like why they hated that, because it's usually like one small thing, like the explosion noises and wasting the time of their life. You know, it's not like, man, well, you know what, I hated all of this thing, like everything about this. It's like one thing, they're like, man, I absolutely hated, you know, this one tiny piece, and now I hate that piece, that, you know,
I
series.
hated the way Medea's hair was animated in the movie, so the entire Heaven's Feel trilogy is
As
garbage.
just, yeah,
Animated
literal
trilogy
trash.
garbage.
Yeah. Speaking of the movies, what do you think about the them doing things like heavily out of order?
I'm I'm all right with it. I mean, I feel like the Heaven's Feel movies like sort of are giving it like the attention it deserves in the parts that matter. I
Well,
know a lot of
so
people didn't really like um the very first movie when they like kind of just do that like flash forward, like skip through everything, but I'm just like, no, that's great because like everyone going to see this movie has probably seen Unlimited Blade Works like in preparation. They don't care to see it again. It's like watching another Spider-Man movie where you get to see Uncle Ben die.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, like the fun thing was though is that I went with people who have never seen anything really Fate related. There's like, oh yeah, I know a little bit about it. Let's go see Heaven's Feel, and then they're just like, so what? what's going on? What did I just watch? And it's like, yeah. But no, I was actually more referencing the movies, the like Babylonian Camelot, like with Camelot coming
Oh,
first
that.
and then Babylonia. And then like the one thing with the movies that's kind of like got me a little bit like wishy-washy on it is that they indicated that they are going to make it consumable by people, or consumable for people who have never played the game. And like for me, I'm like, how are you going to put out Babylonia and then have it consumable by people who've never played the game? And like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is one of the things that's absolutely worrisome. I mean, I get where they're definitely coming from a business standpoint. Like they want this thing to not only be something that's a gateway to the fans, but they also want it to be something that ends up bringing in new fans. So I get that. I get why they want that plan. I just don't know how you'd pull it off without like lengthy episodes of them just talking and explaining things that just
yeah.
stops the
I mean,
pace
the
dead.
yeah, the other way too is that they just go, "Oh, here's the random flashbacks without very much exposition, but this guy is bad because we saw it in a flashback." And so I don't know, like I felt that the way that they could have done it better was just put out like OVAs, like short, hour long
Yeah,
like
like First
OVAs of
Order.
just
I thought
boom.
First Order was great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And then even Moonlight Lost Room was
Oh
really good,
man.
you know.
The one thing that worries me about Babylon is it's Cloverworks. And
Yeah.
Cloverworks did Persona 5. And Persona
Yeah.
5 was bad. And
Yeah.
this is someone that loves Persona 5.
I mean, the other thing though you got to worry about with Ufotable is that have they cleared up their tax evasion problems yet?
I mean, if they get Yoshi on their side to help them with their tax evasion, I think they'll be okay. He
Well,
still gets to
yeah.
be in Mario.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody was just like, I remember when that article came out, they're like, oh, they're doing tax evasion. What's gonna happen to the animes and the games and stuff like that? And I'm just like, yeah, they're just gonna like pay it,
They're just
pay
gonna
the
pay the
fine.
money, and then
Yeah, they're gonna
that's
be
gonna be
like,
the end of it.
oopsie, we got caught. Here's the money that we owed you and the fine, and it's gonna be fine. Like they're not gonna just go, oh well, I guess we're just gonna close our whole thing. We're literally like the studio that fate goes to, and when they need a banger of an
Yeah,
anime.
like we're just literally the studio that animates for a property that's one of the most profitable games in the history of mankind. Let's just
Let's just
close.
yeah, let's just shutter those doors.
I've decided I hate money.
Yeah. Nazi
So bye.
probably like walked over and just like wrote a check for whatever they owed and then just gave it to the government and was like, "Yeah, no, I own them. This is
It,
here's."
it probably wasn't even a check for like whatever they owed. He probably left the cash box blank.
Yeah, but it will be interesting. I still think that like even if nothing else, it should have went Camelot into Babylonia because then you could have had more of the, hey, this is all the stuff that's coming, or catching you up to Camelot, and then you could go into Babylonia with the knowledge of all of that stuff that you're going into. But it's gonna be interesting.
I gotta be honest though, I'm really excited for Camelot like as a movie because there's so many scenes from that arc they can just put tons of love and attention into that are just going to turn out magnificent. I
Oh,
can't wait to
100%.
see fantastically animated scenes of like Arash shooting Chaldea squad across the freaking mountains. I can't wait to see King Hassan, especially as he like fights Gawain and then just messes with him the entire time. I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah, no, I pretty much like the whole thing for me is just going to be, man, when is Gramps coming out? Because I want to see
Yeah.
just how badass he is. I want to see, I just like really just want to see all of the like just badass fights in Camelot and even how they animate certain things in like Babylonia, just to have more more stuff in general just to consume from a media
Yeah,
standpoint
more
is,
stuff and
yeah,
like context. And
right.
I mean, there's so much they can pull out from that. So many scenes. Like, I'm sure you saw that gif someone did of like Ushiwakamaru fighting Gorgon that was
Yes.
like making the rounds on the internet a
Yep.
couple days ago. Like that just shows to me like what potential we have to work with for like a Babylon adaptation. And that's what's really keeping me excited for both of them, actually.
Right, yeah. And I hope that they do them justice, and it's not just a hey, we're just gonna shove this out so that we can, make some more money and promote our game and stuff like that. So that's I wonder if even afterwards if they will ever consider like going back and hitting the singularities. I was always really surprised that they didn't just adapt those into, properties as they went. Because, I mean, they could have just been like, okay, cool. Here, this is an OVA each time we release a new singularity or something
Yeah,
along
like
those
here
lines.
you go. This. I mean, I feel like they might end up making more of them if like it does well and the Blu-rays sell well and they see more people playing the game. I feel like if any other singularity thing has a chance of getting animated in any capacity, it's Lost Belt 3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I don't think that they would go back and do things like London or even America. I actually really wish that they would have started with the America Singularity. Like, that would have been really good. I thought that the story was hilarious with
It
the
would have been
Preza
just
King and
great to
everything like
see
that.
Ku Kullen Alter like
Yeah,
destroying everything. Like just that in general is worth making an entire anime.
right, and Maeve thoughting it up, and just everything else in there. I thought that America Singularity was really, really good from a story standpoint. But yeah, I agree that like if they were going to do it going forward, they would probably skip all of um the current story and then just go boom straight into like Lost Belt stuff.
Yeah, I don't see them doing like any of Epic of Remnant because there's like I know Shimosa is like a standout that a lot of people enjoy, but I just don't think Shimosa can really like hold a candle to Lost Belt 3, Lost Belt 4. Like I don't think Shimosa could handle that really.
Yeah. And like the thing though that gets me is that they released it, they did it as a poll of people who played the game, but they're releasing these towards geared towards people who haven't necessarily played the game. So it's like I think that maybe people who haven't played the game would enjoy some of these stories a bit more than people who have played the game and have went through it. So it does seem kind of odd that they're like, okay, well, what do you want to see? Okay, cool. You wanted to see this. We're going to just make this so that it's consumable by people who have never played this as well.
Yeah, I don't really know why you would package it as a love letter to the fans and then turn it into not that. That just kind of seems really backwards.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, from a business standpoint, you don't want something that's like so niche that it's like, oh, you didn't play the game, you didn't play all these singularities, you're going to have no clue what's going on here.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you do have to, make it so that everybody can get involved in all of it. But I just hope that they do it justice.
Well,
Um,
that's why the first episode of Fate Zero is 50 minutes of exposition.
right, right. So maybe we'll just get like a Lord of the Rings length Camelot anime.
I'm down.
Yeah. Just like hope you use the bathroom because this is 4 hours of them just talking about everything that's been going on.
Also, we're releasing a director's cut.
Right. Hope you have a whole weekend. But so moving on from that, have you been keeping up or have you seen any of the rumors of the new game that they're working on?
I have heard rumors of there being a new game coming out. I haven't like read much into it because when I first initially read about it, it was just, oh, they're working on a new game. That's it. That's all we.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I've found as well. Everybody keeps asking me, they're like, "Do you think that it's Fate Grand Order 2? What do you think's going to happen if Fate Grand Order 2 comes out? Are they just going to shut everything off? Like, what are they going to do?" And I know that that's actually like one of my concerns with like the North American server is if they ever do semi focus on another game and they kind of shutter FGO. Not that they would because they don't hate money, but it's like we're perpetually 2 years behind. So if they ever do decide, hey, we're migrating to this other thing, how do how does the North American team, how's the North American landscape deal with that? Because I can't imagine that they're just going to go, all right, well, we're just going to make 2 more years, or we're going to translate 2 more years worth of stuff for people who aren't going to spend money because all of your stuff is going to be gone in 2 years.
I mean, that's the risk you take with any gacha game, to be honest. When I mean, you're paying for digital PNGs of anime husbandos and waifus. Those games are going to end eventually. There was like that one Tales of game that I know a lot. I saw a lot of whales sinking money into on NA, and it like closed down in 2 months.
Oh wow.
So woof,
Yeah.
wrecked. But that's just a risk that you take when buying like digital media linked to one specific thing. It's not like you buy a game on Steam where they have that thing in their user agreement that they'll send you a key to all of their things for you to get in the game. Nah, it's like buying a cosmetic in World of Warcraft. Like, yeah, you bought that digital dragon for $35. Good for you. But if when WoW eventually dies, you don't get to keep your digital dragon. I'm sorry.
Right, right. No, and I mean I get that. It just seems like a lot of other games, a lot of other gotcha games have been trying to, as they globalize, they've been trying to either just start the global version at wherever the other versions are, so that they have parity across all of the servers. Now I know in
That
Fate
honestly
that would
seems like
be
the best option.
right,
But
because I
yeah, it
mean,
doesn't really work in Fate.
if they shut the servers down and everybody's parity, well, I mean, everybody just loses all their stuff. It's not like, oh, well, these people had 2 years of additional stuff, and now you don't get that. So like, that's almost like, because when I've talked to people about this, it's like, okay, well, if they shut down today, well, yeah, we've got 2 years of content left, but for most people, they're going to be like, well, there's a finite amount of time left. If I knew that something was going to expire in 2 years, well, I'm not going to sink a pile of cash into something that I know that the day this is the day that everything shuts down. So it'll
Yeah,
be
there's no reason to spend your money. Like no matter how much I would want X, Y, or Z character, if
yeah.
I know that, oh great, I finally get to get Saber Astolfo. I can only play with Saber Astolfo for 3 months. Is it really worth wailing on?
Exactly. And that's like one of the things too. And then you think about it and it's like, okay, well, if that happens, then, does the NA team just go, meh, guess we're not doing this. We're just going to shut this off. And then, do we ever get the remainder of the story? We probably have to just go look at translation, stuff like that. So it's interesting. I don't think that it's going to happen anytime soon, like at all.
No, no
Like,
way. They're
yeah,
already trying to hire a director for like season 3 of FGO. It ain't gonna happen anytime soon. It's making way too much money. They're
right.
finally getting into making all these crazy fan servicey out of left field. Like, here you go, fans. Let's hype this up, servants. So there's no reason to stop the money train.
Right. No, yeah, I totally get that. And I actually think that it'll be interesting to see what new directors can bring to the game itself. The other nice thing too is that like in JP they're finally catching up to like 2019 and implementing things like being able to bind your account to like an email address, which is I hope that we get that sooner rather than later.
That would be pretty awesome. I know not a lot of people use social media to bind stuff, but I actually use social media to bind all my gotcha games. So
Oh
I
yeah,
would like that
100%.
feature too.
Yeah, no, like I absolutely do that with like everything because it's like, oh, was out on a boat and I somehow dumped my tablet into the river. Oh, darn, what do I ever do? Oh, I will literally log into my thing on my from my Twitter and all of
And
my
there you
stuff
go.
is there.
There's all my
Yeah.
stuff. That's
Not
how I
only
got
that,
back into Epic
yeah,
7.
yeah, like the thing that I like about it too is that like I can have it on any number of devices because I absolutely hate being tied to one specific device. Not because like I play a lot of gacha games on
Oh,
emulators and
you
stuff like
sure?
that.
You sure you
So
play a lot?
I I play a few, okay, but like being able to seamlessly go from like my PC to my phone to my tablet when I'm out is like that's I feel like that is kind of like a requirement in 2019.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you wanted to do that with FGO, say switching it from your phone to a tablet, you've got to make your device transfer code, you've got to transfer over your game, and then if you want to put it back on your phone, you got to make another device transfer code. It's just way too
Oh yeah, not only that, like, but it's like you got to download all the files that takes forever, and yeah, it's super cumbersome. So I'm actually really hoping
Also,
that
God help
yeah.
you if you lose any part of that device transfer code, because then you're just
Yeah, no, actually, when I got my new tablet, it was right before I was leaving for a like really, really big convention, and I transferred it over to my tablet, and I thought that I had put my transfer code down. I had been on like no sleep. Yeah, apparently I didn't. And while I was at the convention, I busted the screen on my tablet, and so I was like, "Oh, well, I'll just wait till I get home to see if I have my transfer code at home." And then I didn't. So it was going to take 3 months for them to get a new screen to me. So I literally just had to go to like a Best Buy, get the same type of tablet, and then have them do a board swap to my old, like the old tablet guts into like the new tablet screen. It was,
oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it was rough. And it wasn't a cheap tablet either because I was like, oh, I'm going to splurge on a really nice tablet. Which for those of you out there, make sure that you get a case and don't put it in your book bag in between your laptop and your back because it'll mess up your screen. Just
Oh my
just throwing that
gosh.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I threw like a life group case on my phone and a tempered glass screen protector the second I bought it. I'm like, nope, you're going in there.
Yeah.
I'll spend an extra $60 to protect my $1,000 piece of technology. That's fine. That's okay.
Right. Yeah, not only that, but it's not only just your technology, it's your account as well.
All your data is priceless.
Yes. Yeah, cuz I mean if I could have literally just brought that up on my Twitter, I'd have been like, "Oh, I got this right over here. That's fine."
I guess it's
So,
just not really that big a deal. And now I can just buy a different tablet that I actually want instead of the
right.
same one again.
Right. So, yeah, but so what other games do you play? I know you're kind of like me where you like bounce from like gotcha game to gotcha game and I see you like posting up about different games and your screen of hey, this is the games that I play and how much time I've spent like per week on them.
Oh yeah, I actually got that from Zenrot, a guy that was big on the DBZ Dokkan battle boards, who's actually a
Okay.
really cool dude to follow on Twitter. That was actually my first gotcha game was DBZ Dokkan Battle, and that was the first gotcha game I spent way too much money on to try and get a thing. Because when Gogeta came out, he was the best leader character in the game, and you could run any team you wanted with him. So I spent like $300 and didn't pull a single
Oof.
Gogeta, and that was awful. And I've never spent that much money in one sitting on a gotcha game again. But right now, I was trying Overhit, like I mentioned to you before, but I
Mhm.
I honestly got rid of it. It wasn't super interesting. Right now, I'm mainly playing, of course, FGO and then Epic 7 after you got me back into it. And then another gotcha game I absolutely swear by and adore to pieces is Dissidia Opera Omnia. I love that game so much.
Okay. No, I've heard about that. I haven't given it a first impression yet. Is that the one where you get all the characters but you have to roll for equipment?
Yeah, you roll for equipment instead of
Okay.
characters, so it ends up being like a lot easier to kit out kind of characters you want. I
Right.
mean, the one bad thing about the gotcha rates is if you're trying to get a character's EX weapon, because the way they calculate that odd is it's a what like a 3% chance to get a 5-star weapon, but then you have a 0.5% chance for that 3% chance to be an EX weapon.
Oof.
So it's pretty bad. They did implement a pity system recently where you get like 20 coins per multi summon, and then if you collect 300 coins, you can just grab an EX weapon from their shop. But it's not like a super great pity system. But there's characters that don't actually need the EX weapon. So depending on who you want to play as, it might not even be something that you super need. You can just get it for fun. And they're constantly rebalancing and updating characters as well. Even though JP's ahead, they're not like letting that hold them to one specific thing, kind of like how FGO is like, oh, we can't put out this animation update because, it's not time to do that yet. No, they'll be like, hey, this character came out underpowered in JP and they've since buffed them. So we're just going to release the buffed version on NA instead.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, and like that's one of the big things for me with Epic 7 is that like well we're at parity now, I think, with everybody else. Yeah, I think actually we're like 1-to-1 with everybody else. And it's like now they're going back like every 3 months and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, this character literally hasn't seen any play in the last 3 months. Let's fix that."
Like
And like yeah.
Corvus recently, I was watching your video.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Corvus buff. Well, I mean, he was okay-ish before, but now he's going to be just even better. And it's cool that they've decided because like really early on they nerfed a couple of characters. They nerfed Elson and a couple of other people and Flurry and stuff like that. But it seems like now instead of nerfing characters, they're just buffing other characters or giving people specialty changes to kind of combat the current meta, and that's really really kind of cool. I'm definitely
Yeah,
digging
that's
that.
honestly just the better way to do it. That's the way that makes your game more fun. Is
Right.
if the character's super OP, just make the other characters more viable and better, and that's going to make a lot of people happier. I know recently on Dissidia they buffed Cloud, and they gave Cloud like a powered up Brave attack and a powered up HP attack, and then they powered up both of his attack moves because he was the first character to get an EX weapon. They released like 12 or 14 EX weapons since, and it's like a 90 character cast. So he kind of dropped out of use, but they're like, okay, he's dropped out of use. We're gonna buff him, and we're also gonna make him a focus character in the event that's going to be focused around his buff. So he's going to get increased stats. He's going to get increased EXP if you haven't leveled him yet. So go ahead and give Cloud a try. We're also releasing his Advent Children costume, which
Oh,
I didn't
nice.
need to buy because I already bought it the last time.
Right, right. Yeah, no, and that's I feel like a just in general like a better way to go about things. Cause yeah, like
Oh
when
yeah.
you're just like constantly nerfing people's husbandos and waifus, then they're gonna be like, um, hey, that's cool. I'm super glad that I paid all of this money for this character for you to just come through and gut it. That's like the thing that I talk to like people. They'll be like, oh well, what do you think they'll do with this character? And I'm like, they're not really gonna nerf like any of the Moonlight characters because that'd be like nerfing Merlin in FGO. Like they're never going to nerf Merlin. They were never going to nerf Merlin
Oh no way.
um, because people paid so much money into that. You would have people that would just be like, "Oh, hey, super glad that I paid all of that money for that thing for you to just brutalize it." Yeah, I'm upset and I want my money back.
Yeah, exactly. What you gotta do instead is just do what they've already done, which is let's release a bunch of characters that are just as strong, and then we will not only keep people happy you already paid for this character, but people who like these new characters, we're gonna get more money.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And then like you also have the people that have to stay like, ahead of the meta. So you're going to have the people that are going to be like, "Oh, well, guess I'm getting this character because this character is just as powerful or more powerful potentially than this other character. So, yeah, I am going to obviously have to roll for that one."
Oh yeah, exactly. I saw my Twitter was flooded when Fallen Cecilia came out because
Uh,
people were just rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and going and going and going. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. It was like half salt and half absolute jubilation. I just saw so many screenshots of the fallen Cecilia summon screen. I'm like, you know what? Good for all of you. I have no
Yeah.
Moonlight bookmark. I have no bookmarks for that, but good for all of you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, no, I put quite a few bookmarks in on that myself, and ended up with nothing. So that was oof. But one of the fun things as a content creator is that everybody really wants to like show you their roles, and sometimes like you just want to be like, man, that's awesome, dude. Glad I wasted, hundreds of dollars on Mystic packs and you got it on like a 10 spin. But at the same time, that's the gacha. So you can't really,
Oh, dude, that's
yeah.
honestly my favorite thing is when honestly I like when seeing when other people roll and when other people get stuff more than when I get stuff because it's just like I like sharing in that experience with people because I know how that feels. I know how it feels to get a character that I super super want, super super love, even if it's someone I'm not into. It's like, you know what? That's great. Please, everyone, like show me all of your stuff. I want to share how excited you are and how like happy you are to be like, yay, look at this. Look, I leveled them up in one day. Look, I had all these materials saved to make them 10, 10, 10. Look, I got this person's EX weapon and I completely awoke it within like 10 minutes. Like, you know what? Good for you. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're having a great day.
Oh yeah, no, like 100%. Definitely agree with that. Um it is always really fun to see other people get super excited about the game and just having fun, because I mean really at the end of the day that's kind of what games are supposed to be about anyways.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Just sharing in that fun. That's one of the great things about games is like having us all like come together and share this experience, whatever it may be, whether we're all sitting around a table. Like this kind of segues into a little story about a thing with my buddy who was salty about FGO because he enrolled Shelter. So he was kind of upset and what like wasn't sinking any time into the game and all that. We went over to his house for a party, my fiance, me, and a couple of other people, and he's just like, the guaranteed gotcha's up. It was for New Year's. So he's like, the guaranteed gotcha's up. I can't spend money on it. So we all like chipped in to give him money for the guaranteed gotcha, and he's like, no, why would you do this? I don't want to do this. I can't get sucked into this. And we're like, here, we'll go ahead and we'll form a summon circle. So we all like set our phones down together and we formed this little summon circle. And he's like, there's no way I'm going to get anything good, just being like super defeated negative about it. I'm like, look, buddy, I'll roll on the regular banner and we'll show you that there's luck in this table. So I spent a ticket and I got Enkidu. So that was
Oh
great.
wow, yeah.
And then he's like, okay, fine, I guess we'll go ahead and do it together. So we all did our 10 spins on our respective banners. He got Lancer Artoria and just freaking lost his mind because she was the number one thing she wanted from that whole banner. I rolled on the caster banner and I finally got my waiver, who I've been waiting since like day one to get. And then my fiance rolls too, as like for each of these roles, by the way, we're all like standing there, like all holding the phone together and like channeling our energy into it. She's like, man, I'd really love to get either Arjuna or Tesla. And then she wins the night and rolls Arjuna and Tesla
Oh
in one
wow,
multi. So that was neat.
yeah. That is a good story. I don't know that I have any good in. Well, there was the one time that I had my dog boop the screen with his nose for the summon, and then he rolled Enkidu. So that was
That's
yeah.
that's iconic. That's
Right.
iconic as heck since Enkidu's Masters of Packable.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. Thanks. I'm going to give you a treat later." So, appreciate that, man. But yeah, no, it's always kind of fun to hear stories like that too, especially like um when people come in like Discord and talk about it, or it's like it's a lot better too like meeting people in person and then talking about it, because you can like, I don't know, see the like enjoyment in their eyes, like all of that stuff. It's yeah, it's definitely interesting just sitting around at like conventions now and just talking to people about gacha games.
Yeah, man, you'll see like people standing in line. You'll be able to easily strike up a conversation. I was walking through the dealer's room in Otakon right when the game came out, and some dudes were talking shop on FGO. So I just walked over, and I still got one of them on my friends list. Dude has like every Tamamo, and he adores all of those Tamamos.
Well,
So
that dude is
Burgles,
a
if you're
man of
watching,
culture.
I enjoy your Tamamos.
Definitely man of culture right there.
Absolutely.
As I too enjoy tamamos. So, all right, so like, let's wrap this up a little bit. Tell me about what the future of your channel looks like. What are you looking forward to? Like, what direction are you going?
Right now, as far as the direction we're going, so my buddy Josh has like the main channel completely and utterly set up and wrapped up. He's actually at a point where he can live off YouTube.
Oh wow,
So
nice.
now that that's all set up, he's actually moving here to Pittsburgh, and he's going to set up a studio in his buddy's house that he's moving in with. So we're going to have a studio there in the basement, and his plan is to like just focus on the gaming channel and start building that up. So maybe eventually I can do what he does, and I can just do gaming stuff like all day. We want to like branch out and do more stuff, but we're very very adamant that like some people will be like, "Oh, if you play games on your phone, if you play like iOS or Android games, that's not actually gaming." We're like, "You know what? Screw that. That's not real." Regardless of what game you play, how you enjoy it. I mean, you could be an old grandma talking to me about that crazy streak you got in Candy Crush. I'm still going to be excited for you because we're still both bonding over a form of electronic entertainment that's crazy to me. Like he plays Dragon Ball Legends and Apex Legends. I'm sinking like Infinite Time into Total War 3 Kingdoms right now. And we're just all super excited to like share gaming as a thing. So, I mean, I guess you can expect us to still keep doing FGO content because I mean, I love FGO and that's what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. But branching out into like gaming news, branching out into Final Fantasy stuff, we definitely want to be streaming on Twitch more. I guess I'll announce it here first, but I'm actually not going to be doing Fate Friday this coming week because it's going to be Final Fantasy Friday. And I'm not going to be able
Mhm.
to focus on making Fate content when that's the day Shadowbringers comes out and I have an opportunity to be a bunny girl dancer. So I'm going to be streaming bunny girl dancer time as long as I possibly can and like making videos of like highlights and stuff like that. So I guess our plan is to continue focusing on games that we personally enjoy while giving like general gaming news and just talking about the hobby as interesting things come up, things we enjoy come up, and just sharing our enthusiasm with all these other people.
Yeah, no, and one of the things that you just brought up there with the whole people acting like mobile games aren't a valid form of gaming. That's actually one of the big things with the website that I put together.
Yeah,
Is
mobile gaming news.
yeah,
That's good, man. Your
yeah,
writers are something else. I'm
yeah. No,
impressed.
I was. It was really crazy because I've said before, I'm like I expected to get maybe like 10 people that were interested in it, and like I went to sleep and I woke up to like 67 people who had applied to write content, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I didn't really expect this because I was like, oh, well, if I get like 10 people and they write like, a thing every like week or two, I'm like, that'll be a good steady flow of content. And, I can probably look at that, edit stuff, whatever. And like literally like the first day, it's just like, here's like 8 articles. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, definitely just gonna have to look at all these like real quick. And
Just got
so
floored by that enthusiasm, man.
right, no, it was really crazy. Thankfully, like there were a handful of people that are like, you know what, I just kind of want to be an editor. Like, is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, actually, that's fantastic. Here, have all these permissions to edit things. Thank you so much. And then there's people that were like, hey, can I just work on like making your website look better because it kind of looks like poop. And I'm like, I completely agree with you, but it's what I could put together, and stuff like that. So it's really awesome to see like that that enthusiasm with that, and just like the mobile gaming scene as a whole is like, I feel like we're on this like precipice of, you know, being a much bigger thing and hitting the mainstream. And I think that it's going to be an interesting time in the next like couple of years for those of us who dabble in the mobile market as well.
Oh, dude, the mobile market's huge. The If you look at it as a gaming device, the mobile phone is the most owned gaming device.
Yeah, not only that, but I was looking into some reports and stuff like that the other day that 50, oh, I think around 50% of the money made in the gaming industry is mobile games. So
That's crazy.
we technically are the biggest consumer of games um overall versus like platforms and stuff like that. And I think it was like uh it was mobile games, and then it was PC, and then console games were the other like wedges on there. But yeah, we absolutely destroy almost like, every other platform. So it's like, like you said, I don't even care if it's like, some grandma that plays Candy Crush talking to me about, about games. It's like, it's really fun to or be part of that person's enjoyment, and just talking to them about games. Anytime I see somebody with like their phone turned sideways, I'm like, that person's probably playing a game, because there's only like a few things that you turn your phone sideways for. So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. I
yeah,
mean, like, when I was a younger kid, I used to be that elitist. But what's the point? What's the point?
yeah,
You're
I've
not
never
only
been a
making
big
someone
fan
feel
of.
bad about
Yeah,
what they like, but you're basically completely closing yourself off from a connection with that person. You're being like, oh, that thing you enjoy that's slightly relative to the thing I enjoy, yeah, that's dumb. Well, boom, there you go. There goes any hope you'd ever have of making a connection with that person. That person could be a really cool dude or chick or
yeah, no,
whoever.
it's the amount of like gatekeeping and stuff like that is really, it's just, I've never really understood like the gatekeeping in like really any community, and the elitism. It's like, man, just let people enjoy stuff, and if they're having a good time, then fantastic. Like somebody bragging about like, dunking on people and, grand summoners is doesn't impact you in any way, shape, or form, if you're a Fortnite floss dancer. So it's like, just be like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
well, that's
dude, that
cool.
was like one of the first poopy videos I put out on the gaming channel was how gatekeeping is absolutely horrendous, and I think it got like 60 views or something like that. But no, that's a position I hold incredibly strongly, is that gatekeeping in any community is just the absolute best way to completely annihilate that community and completely make that community seem like something that nobody ever wants to be a part of. I don't know if you've ever seen that like fate related meme where it's that person asking like, oh, I want to get into this series, where should I start? And then it's that dude going like, well, you need to start with the visual novel and you can't do the Rialta Nua version. You got to go find yourself the original one. And they're like, this series is already really intimidating and you're kind of just making me not want to do this anymore. And they're like, I don't have time for this,
Oh
nor
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely seen that, and that's, that is like something that I see a lot of times too. Like even on like the Facebook groups and stuff like that. Is it's just kind of like, people will just be like, oh, you never read the visual novel? Are you even a fan of this? And it's just kind of like, come
Yeah,
on,
they
man.
are.
Like, yeah,
They
they're
are.
they're a fan. Yeah,
They're a fan of it if they started with FGO, which, by
yeah.
the way, these days is how most people have learned about Fate.
Yeah, because like Fate kind of like fell off a little bit into like obscurity there for a little while, because like nothing really came out, and then it was like, oh hey, by the way, here's FGO, and then you see just literally like everybody cosplaying from it, everybody's like, just doing stuff, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool, you know.
It's awesome,
So
dude. It's awesome.
yeah,
I'm super floored by how popular this game has gotten in the US. I mean, to have anything, like literally anything, compete in the States with Dragon Ball is an achievement.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, 100%. So, and it'll be interesting to see just like how it does in the future. It does have some stiff competition with other games in the current market, and we'll see how they handle that. But yeah, no, my dogs are looking at me because it's like almost time for them to go outside, so they're like, hey homie, like you need to wrap this up. But anyways, dude, it was super fun talking to you and just BSing. I need to get back on doing these podcasts more often. um
You do,
yeah.
man. I listen to them.
Yeah, well, now you can listen to yourself talk to me. You're
No, I
like,
hate
man.
that. I hate doing
Oh
that.
god, yeah, no, I hate listening to my own voice too. Sometimes like my videos, I'll click on it, like oh, reply to this comment, and then I'll like kick my video on, and I'm like, no, ew, gross, stop, just pause this already.
Please stop.
But yeah, yeah, so, but all right, man, I will have all of your stuff linked down below so everybody can come check you out. Go look at Final Fantasy Fridays. And yeah, man, it was fun, and I look forward to seeing where you go with your channel, man.
Absolute pleasure, man. I look forward to seeing where you go with it, and you better be doing some more of those Guild Wars videos because that is some tasty, tasty content that
Oh
I
yeah, no,
personally
I'm probably gonna do that like here as soon as I let these dogs in. So this will
do
be,
it.
yeah. All right, but anyways, man, I'll catch you later. Take it easy.
See ya.
Peace.
Crack it.